Good morning. It's September 6th, 2022 at 9:01 a.m. And yikes, expecting 115 degrees here in Fresno, California today. And I'm going to be out in it. Well, I'm not going to be at 115. I'm going out to have dinner with my daughter and my grandson. That'll be 6 o'clock tonight. And then it's only going to be 112. No biggie. Wow. So good morning, everybody. Today is Windows Daily number 48, Macrium Reflect comments and consolidations. That doesn't mean the video comments. That means comments attached to backups. There's people in the chat room this morning. There's Tony telling me AVDVRW. Good. All right, so then I'm going to go take a look at yesterday's video, Windows Daily number 47, selecting automatic backups, Macrium Reflect. And just before going live this morning, I looked through the chat. This is the first chat comment that I wanted to respond to. Lawn Dog saying, I'm still a little fuzzy about how to add notes to saved image. We're going to do that today, in part because of your comment, Lawn Dog. Lawn Dog. Even if it is an incremental or differential, those are important also to have notes on potentially. Now, I think I neglected yesterday to point out, with the free version, you can do full backups and I think differential, but not incremental. One or the other of those two you can't do with the free version. So then I want to figure out what's the rest of, if there's any other comments in chat room that I want to respond to. Lawn Dog's talking about a backup on the computer that he was using right now. Starting to get confused as to what odd characters that would be is referenced when I use the ampersand as part of a file name. Dennis, I got that email. We already dealt with that. Might be a tough question, but those consolidated backups giving it into the main backup, how do you think that's done? I'm going to take a look at that today and tell you what I can see about it, because he's asking, do you think Macrium creates a link as part of the progressive? That's possible, but I'm going to show you what the evidence shows today. So there's 1647 in the chat room. Then let's go. Progressive instrumentations and the backup was done, or some other method. I think it's a question we may not be able to answer. Structure of how to create automatic at certain times, automatic backup. I really won't know the effects of the strategy until one day because of unfortunate circumstance. So there's a good point. Why do these incrementals and differentials, and what difference does it make when you go to restore? So I'm gonna go ahead and do a talking head. So why do full, incremental, and differential? They're all different strategies about making the backup take less time. Does that matter? Not really so much. But space is more of an interest. And because you have a limited amount of space, whatever your backup media is, if you use incrementals and differentials in an intelligent strategy, you can get more backups so that you can go back further in history if you should need to. Would you need to? That's kind of a rare need. Hang on. That's kind of rare. So is this really important to do? Well, when you're doing a file server and you've got a lot more data involved, I've had times when a full backup takes more than 24 hours to do. So being able to do incrementals and differentials in that scenario is very, very important. Doing it on a standalone workstation, not so much. I have at times had my daily backup scheduled to run a full backup every day. And then I kind of drifted away from that, and I went to, I don't know, adding differentials or incrementals or doing different time structures. And now I've kind of got to the point where it really didn't wind up being anything that I utilized to that extent. So I'll just take the default scheduling that grandfather, father, son thing did that I showed you yesterday. So When do you need those strategies? If you don't feel a need for implementing one of those strategies, then you probably don't have a need. Now, when you go to restore, when I'm trying to do troubleshooting on a computer, I got a problem or something, and I know that I'm going to be restoring various different points. If the hard drive is, or the storage media, if it's not over, say, 100 gigabytes or not over 200 gigabytes, I'll just do a full backup every time. Because when I do a restore operation, if I want to restore a point that involves restoring a full backup and a differential and some incrementals, well, that's going to take longer to do the restore. And generally, when I'm in a troubleshooting environment, I want to shortcut that time. So I might choose to just always do full backups. I might do full backups on a particular computer 5 times in a day if I'm trying to troubleshoot a problem, where I make some sledgehammer type changes and then do a backup, see if that solved the problem. Do some more sledgehammer changes, see if that solves the problem. Eventually I get to the point of finding what fixes the problem. So then I'll go back and restore something earlier in the progression, maybe the original, and then try implementing what I now think is the right solution. So my strategies can vary a little bit if I'm actually troubleshooting. While this is pretty sophisticated, I like to see what it does. I like to see that it does a deletion at certain increments of time. And let's move this on further. That was 2153. Scroll up to that 2153. Londog again. I have a potential tip discovered today from a YouTube broadcaster that I watch absolutely almost every day because of what it can be learned. And today I think I discovered something that could potentially be useful to creating something in DaVinci. Okay, and that was a comment towards Ken, I suppose. Then come to the end. What feature might truly be needed is the foreign installation of a program. A pop-up should occur at the time of installation to ask if a backup should be made, because as we know, Microsoft's restore feature is a very reliable and does have some idiosyncrasies when you actually use it. Down here, he corrects himself. Microsoft restore function is not very reliable. And I want to point out, Microsoft's restore function is not a backup. You're not restoring a backup. All you're doing is restoring registry files and some operating system files, some DLLs. There are things that'll be restored. There can be configurations of programs that you have installed, but it's not going to restore any data. And in fact, as a matter of fact, it's not going to have a harmful effect on the data that is present. So system restore is a very, very different animal. I do rely on it, but not exclusively, meaning I turn it on. I want it active. Now, when I did this fresh install of Windows 11 on this computer, I found that system restore was deactivated. I found that registry backups were deactivated. And there was one other thing that was deactivated. I'm not remembering right now, but so my lab work configurations that I've been doing all along for Windows 10, still have to do those for Windows 11. All right, so now let's get into the topic. In the comments on my channel, there's nothing there to respond to. In the comments from yesterday's video, there's nothing there to respond to. So I'm going to bring up Macrium Reflect on Big Beast build. Remember, yesterday I scheduled a new backup. So this is it up here. To the L drive in a folder called Macrium Backups. So this is it with that serial number, and I called it BBB-C drive, and then it gives me this code 00-00, and that was a full backup. So tonight, it's going to do, let's go over to this Create Backups tab and see what it's going to do tonight. Tonight, it's, let's see, that's down here. So every day, it's going to do an incremental. It'll do incrementals through the rest of this week, and next Monday, it'll do a differential. These incrementals will still hang around for a while until they get to the point where they start getting deleted. Now, one of the questions that Londog asked was, what does it do when it's consolidating those incremental backups that are being deleted, or consolidating differential backups if they're being deleted? So to see a little bit of that, let's go over here to definition, the backup definitions, and scroll down here to see that comment. Incrementals, the oldest incremental may be consolidated right here. Incrementals will be retained for 30 days. The oldest incremental may be consolidated. I'm going to go show the evidence of a little bit about what that does. Up here, retain full backups for 26 weeks. Linked, incremental, and differential backups will also be deleted. So here they use the word linked, and here they use the word consolidated. I'm going to bring up the File Explorer and go to that L drive and look back at the incremental backups that I used to be doing on Big Beast Build. Remember, I deactivated that, so we shouldn't see anything from last night in here. If I sort this by date modified, we see that there is a September 6th. Oh, how fascinating is that? Why is there a backup there from 8:06 a.m. this morning? Ah, that was not expected. Really? I thought I deactivated that. Come back here to schedule backups. Here's the incremental. If I right click on these, choose, there's enable, so which means it's currently disabled. Go to this one, there's enable, which means it should be disabled right now. And it's certainly not 8 a.m. I did not intentionally do one of these backups this morning. Did I go look at it? You know what I think I did? I think I might have gone in to browse it. Huh. So let's go take a look at this one, 1919. If I come over here to existing backups and go find that one, 1919. If I, for instance, what did I do? Oh, I know what I did. I know exactly what I did. I experimented with a comment. See, if I come, I'll go look at that particular one. That's what happened. This one was 0101. So 0101. I experimented with it this morning about comments because Dog was asking about comments. Notice over here in this column, it's the comment column. There is no comment there. If I right click on it and choose edit comment, which I did this morning, I put in a comment and then I deleted it. This is a comment. So this should update the timestamp of this backup file to be right now. Then out here, here's that comment field. So I could have comments on each of these backups and they would be displayed out here. There's a caveat to that I'm going to show in a little bit. Now let's go back and look at that file listing for 0101. And there it is, 0101, showing right now 9:13 a.m., which was 1 minute ago. So that's what updated that timestamp. I got sidetracked there. I was going to show the issue about the consolidation. So I'm going to sort these back into order by name and look through these to figure out how is it that I was going to demonstrate that consolidation. It was partially dependent upon the dates. All right, so rebuild. This is incremental backups. So that is these serial numbers. Oh yeah, it's the serial numbers that we care about here. The serial numbers starts a new serial number with a full backup, and then incrementals after that are added to it. So I'm going to go down. How do I have these sorted now? So here's a 00, and then they start building down this way. 00 from August 11th, and then this one 96. That's the one that I did the comment on just a minute ago. And then this one 02. And what I wanted to get to is, where is it now? These serial numbers are joined together. Oh, here it is. This is the one I wanted to show. Here's the full backup from that serial number. That was the initial full backup. And then there were a bunch of incrementals. And this was started May 12th. So that's when that full backup was done. And then the next one after that would have been that 01-01. But notice it's not here because that's too old. It's been taken away. And all those older incrementals, they've been removed and consolidated. So look at the oldest incremental that's currently present and see how big it is. It's much bigger than the original full backup. So that's the only piece of clue here that I have to Lawn Dog's question is what does it do? Does it link them together or does it merge them together? What does it do? Well, whatever it does it in such a way that it makes the file size bigger. This 66-66 does not contain the full backup. It's only all of those expired incremental backups consolidated together. So it kind of looks to me like they're maybe just all linked together inside that one same file. The way to test that perhaps would be to check the file size of several incrementals that are about to expire, and then when they expire, see if the resulting oldest incremental is equal to or closely equal to the sum of all of those incrementals. And I haven't done that yet. That sounds like something one of the Dougs would do, but not this Doug. All right, so that is the subject of incrementals. Now let's go back on the subject of comments. So here you can add comments onto backup images that have already been created. All right, how about if you want to put comments on the backup job? Well, let's come over here to the Create Backups tab and go to Definition Files. And then here for this incremental backup, no, this is the one I'm using now, BBB C drive. So if I want to put a comment in here, that will be inherited by all the subsequent backups. So I can come down here, looking through here for something called comments, and I don't see it. It's not there. However, I come to Advanced Options, and then come here to Comments. Then here I can put in a comment. This is the comment field for C drive backup. And click OK. So now from now forward, my incremental backups that are going to be done should have that comment. The next full backup should have that comment. But I don't expect that full backup from last night to have that comment because it's already been created. So I'll click here on Existing Backups, and let's go find out if I'm right about that. See over here, there's no comment. So it did not inherit that comment because that file was already created. Now, what if you're creating a new backup? Can you do comments? The answer is yes. So here, we're on the Create Backups tab. I'm going to click Add. No, that's not what I do. Clicking Add is going to add a file name in here. Oh, I need the Local Disk tab. That's what it was. So then I have this, the primary storage drive selected, image this disk, and then down here in Advanced Options, I can click on Comments, and this is comment for a new backup. Click OK. Another thing that you may be interested in here, and I think the question came up earlier about that image ID, that serial number that's at the beginning of these file names. Do we have to have that? No, you don't. Plus, there's a lot of other things you could have. Now, what I typically do is I put in the name that I want to do for a particular backup. But here's some other things you can do. See this curly brace out here? You could add to that any of these other variables. So WinVer is going to automatically include in that file name what version of Windows it is from the WinVer command. Or you could come in and do whatever else here. Compression, backup type, reflective, all this other stuff. If you want to include that automatically in the name of the backup, even the Interesting. Incremental backups. So if we schedule a backup with a full backup, and then there's the incrementals and the differentials, will each of those inherit a new WinVer version if you've had an update occur? That's interesting. I don't know. Then at this point, right here, it shows what the file name is going to look like. It's going to have this image ID. Well, how do we get rid of image ID? You do that over here in Advanced Options and come to Backup Set File Name Prefix. Click on that, and then you remove that check mark. Click OK. So now here you see that we no longer have that serial number, and that serial number is not going to show up. I have this Dell computer fired up right now, and it's on my button here to switch to, and I'm trying to remember if I left that set in the right mode. All right, I'm gonna find out here. Yes, because I got some blurring there. This, I have an external drive attached to this Dell 7000 computer. And these are backups that are on that external drive. So this shows another variation of how I use backups. This section that I have blurred out is some client names. So because that particular external drive has a label on it that these are client backups. I have another drive that's for CAC backup. CAC is Computer Age Consulting. That's the name of my business. Here you see a bunch of serial numbers, but here this one at the bottom, you can see the first couple letters, MI. Now, I don't have the serial number on that one. That's one that I did without a serial number. All these backups, they're all full backups, and they are all either different computers or different states of different computers. So when I have a client's computer in here in my lab doing work on it, I will commonly make a full backup, maybe even at the beginning of my work and at the end of my work. And then I'll take it back to my client's office, and that still could become useful to me if something else goes wrong with their computer or the fix that I did blows up. I can bring it back in and restore this backup. So that's just another variation on what I do. You can see the different backup sizes here, but something that's missing from this screen, where's that comments column? It's not here. Earlier, I referred to this as a caveat that I was going to point out. By the way, Ken Stout, I'm going to finish either on time or early. So just to give you a heads up. The comments field isn't here. What's up with that? Well, I haven't proven it yet, but what I think is happening has to do with the version number of Macrium Reflect. This Macrium Reflect that I have on that USB thumb drive that computer is currently booted from, it is my licensed version. However, notice this version number, 8.0.6758. And then if I come over here to Big Beast Build, this one is 6867 instead of 6758. So this one that's showing that comment column, it's a newer version. So maybe that comment column was not available in the older version. And is it possible the comments field isn't even available on the free version? It's also possible that what I was demonstrating about the variations that you have for creating a file name is all this stuff available in the free version? I don't know. I haven't checked. If somebody wants to check on that and report back by leaving a comment under this video, I would really appreciate that. What else do I want to say? I'm thinking I'm reaching the end of my intended things to talk about. So let's go see what's going on in chat. I'm not going to read through everything, just make sure that there's nothing alarming here. Yeah, so Ken says he is ready. Well, maybe. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end early, Ken, since you have said that you're ready. And contrary to your claim yesterday, Ken Stout, I did have the redirect set up to you. Okay, I know. Ken replied after that chat comment saying he was just kidding. Oh, what passes for humor for that boy? I don't know. Here we go. I hope that was useful. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.